There's a quiet kind of power that most people never master, the power of letting go. And that's exactly what Law 36 is about. Disdain the things you cannot have.
Because obsession is weakness. When you chase what's out of reach or cling to what you've lost, you don't look powerful, you look small.
And Robert Greene doesn't just say, don't want it. He goes further. He says, despise it, ignore it, treat it as beneath your attention. That's where the revenge lives.
It's such a counterintuitive form of strength. We're conditioned to believe that persistence is power, that we should fight for everything we want. But sometimes power is refusing to care.
Because when something or someone sees you unaffected, sees you unbothered, it creates a tension, a distance, a message. You don't control me. You don't define me.
And it's not about pretending. It's about reclaiming your energy. The moment you obsess over something unattainable, you hand over your power. You become reactive, desperate, unbalanced.
That's what Greene warns against, becoming a slave to your desires. Because when you chase what won't be yours, you reveal your dependency.
Think about it. How many times have we seen someone spiral because of rejection? They can't let it go. They argue, they beg, they try to prove their worth, and all it does is amplify the loss.
But the person who walks away, who shrugs it off, who chooses dignity over obsession, that person keeps their frame and often gains back more than they lost.
There's a line I love. Not everything denied to you is worth having. And that's part of this law's wisdom. Just because you want it doesn't mean it's meant for you or good for you.
So instead of clinging to the fantasy, you discard it. You choose peace over performance, detachment over drama. That's real power, the power of refusal.
What's fascinating about this law is how deeply psychological it is, because it's not about pride, it's about leverage. When you ignore what you can't have, you shift the emotional balance.
Exactly. Obsession gives the object power over you. The more attention you give it, the more important it becomes. Not objectively, but in your mind.
And when something or someone senses that they're the center of your emotional gravity, they use it. Sometimes consciously, sometimes not, but they feel that pull.
That's why ignoring isn't passive, it's disruptive. It breaks the cycle, it reclaims space. It says, I won't feed this dynamic anymore.
And it's so hard, right? Because our egos hate being denied. We want closure, we want validation, we want to fix what slipped away. But the more we chase it, the further we fall from center.
That's where self-respect enters, not as a performance, but as a boundary. A moment where you choose my peace over my pride.
Greene's use of the word disdain is strong for a reason. He's not suggesting you quietly accept defeat. He's saying reframe it, make it irrelevant, strip it of meaning.
And that reframe doesn't just protect your image, it protects your energy. Because obsession drains, it consumes, and worst of all, it makes you predictable.
Predictability is dangerous in power. If others know how to trigger you, they own you. But if you show indifference, not coldness, but detachment, they lose the script.
It's like in negotiation. The one who needs the deal is always at a disadvantage, but the one who can walk away, calmly, confidently, holds the upper hand.
That's what this law teaches, that ignoring isn't weakness, it's the boldest move you can make. It says, you don't matter enough to shake me.
And that message, that subtle signal of self-possession, it lingers, it disrupts, it creates impact without noise.
It turns rejection into redirection, loss into liberation, not by force, but by refusal to engage in what no longer serves you.
Let's bring this into real life. Social media is a perfect example. Someone blocks you, unfollows, ignores your message, and suddenly you're spiraling. You feel invisible, rejected, angry.
And the instinct is to react. Post something targeted, reach out again, try to prove you're unbothered. But in the process, you're broadcasting that you are.
Exactly. That's the trap. The more you try to look unaffected, the more affected you seem. And that's where the law kicks in. Don't just pretend to not care, actually stop caring.
Because needing validation from those who withhold it gives them power. You place your emotional state in their hands. And even if you win their attention again, you've already lost something bigger, your self-possession.
This happens in romantic relationships too. Someone pulls away, and instead of stepping back with dignity, people start begging, bargaining, over-explaining, hoping to change a mind that's already made up.
And even if you succeed temporarily, the dynamic is broken. You're now chasing something that knows it can retreat and still control you. That's not connection, that's imbalance.
So the law asks you to do something radical. Not chase, not fix, but disdain. Not out of spite, but out of clarity. To say, if it doesn't want me, it doesn't deserve me.
And that changes everything, because the moment you stop grasping, your power returns. You become unpredictable again, mysterious, unshaken.
And sometimes, ironically, that's when the other side comes back, because nothing disrupts someone's ego more than being ignored by the person they thought they controlled.
But by then, you've already evolved. You're no longer waiting at the door. You've walked away and realized that what you couldn't have might not have been worth having.
That's why this law is about more than strategy. It's about identity. It forces you to ask, what am I letting define me? And more importantly, what happens if I stop letting it?
And most of the time, the answer is freedom, not the fake kind that comes from getting what you want, but the real kind that comes from not needing it anymore. There's something almost spiritual about this law. It's not just about power games, it's about detachment, about recognizing that the things we chase often lose meaning the moment we stop chasing.
Yes, because desire is a projection. We rarely want things as they are, we want what they represent. Status, validation, closure, victory.
And when we can't have them, our ego interprets that as injustice, so we cling harder, think more, spiral deeper, when in reality, we're obsessing over a symbol, not a truth.
That's where the shift happens. When you realize, this thing doesn't define me, I do. That's when the power returns, not because you conquered it, but because you no longer need to.
And this is where the word disdain becomes more than strategy. It becomes liberation. It's the choice to devalue something that once held you hostage.
Exactly. And that act alone can change everything. Because when you remove your attention, your emotional investment, your mental loops, the thing loses its grip.
There's a kind of freedom in that, a clean break from emotional debt, from proving, from trying to win what doesn't even fit you anymore.
And in that space, the space left by what you ignored, new things emerge. Opportunities you couldn't see while you were staring at the closed door.
That's the irony of obsession. It blinds you. You get tunnel vision. And when you finally look away, you realize how much life was happening around the thing you thought you needed.
So this law, at its deepest level, is an invitation to reclaim your focus, to stop giving your energy to what resists you, and start building power where it wants to grow.
And the beautiful thing, once you stop obsessing, you gain perspective. And most of the time, what you couldn't have turns out to be far less valuable than you imagined.
That's the true revenge Greene talks about. Not punishment, not drama, just peace, indifference, evolution.
And in that evolution, you stop chasing and start choosing.
This law also plays out a lot in professional spaces. Let's say you're excluded from a meeting, overlooked for a promotion, left out of the loop. What's the instinct? React, confront, demand answers.
But that's where you lose leverage. Because the moment you show that it bothers you, you reinforce the message. You needed that inclusion to feel valuable.
And that gives others control over your identity. They'll read your reaction, your disappointment, and realize they can shape how you feel just by withholding.
But when you ignore it, when you keep your rhythm, keep building, keep showing up with quiet composure, you signal something rare. You don't need their room to build your power.
And that gets noticed, because dignity in the face of exclusion is magnetic. It shows self-trust. And ironically, it often leads those same doors to open later, but on your terms.
It's the same in status games. You're not invited to the inner circle. You're not mentioned in the announcement. You're not tagged in the photo. If you react, you validate the slight. If you ignore, you neutralize it.
And sometimes you even reverse it. People start asking, why is this person so calm, so unmoved? Do they know something we don't?
That's influence, built not by reaction, but by restraint. And that restraint makes people uncomfortable because they can't read you, can't provoke you, can't predict your next move.
It's emotional control as power currency, and it becomes a shield because once people know you won't overreact, they stop trying to use absence or denial to shake you.
Greene's brilliance here is that he frames non-response as response. He teaches that silence, when intentional, becomes a weapon, a mirror that reflects the other person's insecurity back at them.
And in high-stakes environments, that mirror is gold, because power isn't just about what you can win, it's about what you can walk away from without flinching.
That's why this law matters. It's not cold, it's not toxic, it's disciplined, and it teaches the most dangerous lesson of all. They don't get to define your worth. So if there's one thing this law reveals, it's this. Power isn't always about pursuit. Sometimes it's about removal, about knowing what and who no longer deserves your attention.
That's the difference between emotional reactivity and strategic presence. One gets pulled by every slight. The other chooses where energy goes and what gets left behind.
And that choice is everything, because the moment you stop chasing what resists you, you become unpredictable again. You move from grasping to grounded.
Which is why ignoring something can be the loudest move you make. It's not about apathy, it's about clarity. You know what you want, you know what matters, and if it's not aligned, you walk.
And in walking away, you create space for new alignment, new focus, new power. Not because you forced it, but because you stopped forcing what wasn't meant for you.
So the question isn't, how do I get it back? The question is, why did I think I needed it? And often the honest answer is ego, image, attachment.
But when you outgrow that attachment, something beautiful happens. You start to trust that what doesn't belong to you won't stay, and that's okay.
Because power is not possession, it's direction. It's where you're headed, not what you're holding. And no closed door, no rejection, no silence can change that unless you let it.
This law reminds us that our attention is currency, and whatever we give it to grows. So choose wisely. Starve what weakens you. Feed what builds you.
Next week, we move into the shadows again. Law 37, create compelling spectacles. A law about attention, theater, and the art of illusion.
Because sometimes what people see matters more than what's real, and when you master perception, you master momentum.
But for now, leave with this. The world doesn't need to know what you've lost. Let them feel what you've reclaimed.
Because silence, when chosen, isn't emptiness, it's sovereignty.